Full text updated all at once. The captivating story begins right away. Big picture reminds everyone to remember to follow and like the author, okay? Stepping out the door already earned 5 million. Always looked down on us and never bothered to pay attention. My nominal wife Lu Ruyan. Today her mood is extremely cheerful. Rarely gentle as she picks up our daughter. Kisses the little girl's forehead. The daughter looks at me in shock and asks Daddy. Has Aunt Lu finally agreed to be my mommy? 5-year contract. Lu Ruyan never wanted others to know she was married. From the very beginning she forbade our daughter to call her mommy. But the daughter doesn't know that. The reason Lu Ruyan is so happy today is not because she has accepted this child, nor because she has turned over a new leaf, but because just moments ago, the white moonlight of Lu Ruyan has returned to the country. We have also reached the day we must leave her. Following habit, I prepared a New Year's Eve surprise for Lu Ruyan. Red rose petals scattered all over the bedroom. The dining table laid out with a lavish feast. 4-year-old little Jing bounces around on her short little legs, busily hanging up strings of colorful lights. The little girl looks at me and asks Dad, "Dad, tell me, will Auntie come home tonight?" My eyes dim a little. I answer even Dad doesn't know. But the surprise still has to be prepared. Who knows? Maybe Lu Ruyan will finally discover how good I am. Moreover, I really want to see Lu Ruyan smile. While speaking, the doorbell rings. I widen my eyes slightly. Originally thought she would use overtime as an excuse to refuse Lu Ruyan. Never expected she would choose to come home to spend New Year's Eve with us, mother and child. Does this mean Lu Ruyan is starting to try accepting me? I break into a smile. Quickly walk to the door and open it. Little Jing rushes out full of joy, calling Auntie, "Happy New Year." The next second little Jing's voice suddenly stops. My movements also freeze. I look at Lu Ruyan in front of me and the man beside her. My heart instantly sinks. That man is Yitingqing, the very white moonlight of Lu Ruyan. Yitingqing was a student sponsored by the Lu family. He is handsome and proud, from a poor family background but strong-willed and self-reliant. In the high society circle where Lu Ruyan lives, he was an exception. The moment Lu Ruyan met Yitingqing, she fell in love at first sight. The two quickly fell into a passionate romance. Whether family banquets or corporate charity events, their figures were always seen together. At that time the Lu family did not approve of Yitingqing. They preferred me. So every time Lu Ruyan dated Yitingqing, she used me as a shield, having him pick her up and drop her off at the Lu residence. Then suddenly grandfather Lu fell seriously ill. Before passing away in the hospital, he forced Lu Ruyan to marry me. When Yitingqing heard the news, he chose to disappear without a word. Under the double blow, Lu Ruyan's spirit collapsed. She could only first fulfill her grandfather's dying wish. She made a 3-chapter agreement with me. Divorce after 5 years. Not to interfere with each other. The 5-year term has not yet arrived. Yitingqing has already returned early. I guessed what would happen, but I still held on to hope. I bet that in front of the child and Yitingqing, Lu Ruyan would save herself some final dignity. But I lost the bet. Lu Ruyan looks at the colorful room before her, frowns. She says, "I am out working, while you bring little Jing home to make a mess. Forget it, talking is useless. You clean up a bit and give up the master bedroom. Tonight sleep with little Jing. Yitingqing just returned to the country. Stay at our house for one night." I did not miss the smug smile in Yitingqing's eyes. I wanted to open my mouth to persuade Lu Ruyan to change her mind, but my throat tightened. Not a single word came out. Lu Ruyan pushes my shoulder, takes Yitingqing's hand and walks straight into the bedroom. I look at the trampled and dirty petals. A feeling of powerlessness surges up. I smile bitterly at little Jing, have no choice but to shatter the little girl's illusions myself. I say, "Mommy, the mommy you've missed for so many years has found her mommy. We should leave now." That night the laughter and playful sounds of Lu Ruyan and Yitingqing form a stark contrast with the coldness on my side. Little Jing sobs softly. My heart aches watching her. I comfort her for a long time before she finally stops. The teasing sounds beside my ear continue until midnight without stopping. I put on a coat and walk step by step to the master bedroom door. I look at the bright light, clearly hearing Lu Ruyan's gentle voice. She says, "Yitingqing, why didn't you tell me you were coming back? We haven't seen each other for so many years. Do you know how much I've missed you? The contract marriage between me and Jibadot will be dissolved next week. Then you have to make it up to me with a grand wedding." I swallow the bitterness in my heart and close the door. 5 years of marriage. We never even had a proper wedding anniversary. Lu Ruyan only knew to throw away the food I carefully prepared, to cut up the clothes I bought for her. Even little Jing was the same. On our wedding night, Lu Ruyan got drunk because Yitingqing left. She mistook me for Yitingqing. The result of one absurd night. All these years, everyone told me a heart can be warmed, so I tried to please her year after year. But Lu Ruyan always believed it was because of me that Yitingqing left. So she hated me, despised me to the extreme. Even little Jing, whom Lu Ruyan carried for 10 months and gave birth to, when opening her mouth to call her mommy, in Lu Ruyan's eyes there was only disgust. When little Jing was a little over 1 year old, she was punished to kneel all day, cried until she almost suffocated, yet didn't understand what she did wrong. My heart ached as I held little Jing. Saw Lu Rian warning from above. I am not your mother, you can only call me auntie. And you Jibadot. Relying on our two families being friends for generations. Aren't you tired of acting in front of me? I already knew long ago that you like me. If you hadn't hidden it so poorly, grandfather would never have forced me to marry you, nor forced Yitingqing to leave. So you are not allowed to call me wife. When the 5 years are up, we will immediately divorce. Only then did I know. Lu Rian had long known my feelings, yet used those feelings to shield her love with Yitingqing. I take a deep breath. Tears fall onto the divorce agreement, soaking the 5 characters Lu Rian. Little Jing's voice comes from the bed. I never expected she was still awake so late. I half kneel by the bed and stroke little Jing's head. I ask, why aren't you sleeping yet? You'll be late for school tomorrow, what then? Little Jing looks at my red eyes, reaches out to wipe the tears at the corner of my eye. Little Jing hesitates and says, Auntie said tomorrow she will take me to kindergarten, and said she will pick me up after school. Can we wait a little longer? Looking at innocent little Jing, I only feel my heart being squeezed by a giant hand. Even breathing becomes difficult. My palm is deeply indented by my own nails. I force a smile on my face. I say okay, little Jing can wait as long as she wants. Little Jing looks at the teddy bear that Lu Rian casually stuffed to her at the head of the bed. The corner of the bear is slightly torn, revealing the stuffing, but little Jing still treasures it like a jewel. Only because this is the only birthday gift Lu Rian ever gave her. She says 7 more days until little Jing's birthday. I want to wait until then. If Auntie stays with me, then we will stay. If Auntie doesn't care, then we will leave. I nod and say, Lu Rian, I will give you 7 days. After 7 days all the absurd, ridiculous things between us will end. Outside the window snow falls heavily. I put a scarf and hat on little Jing. When I try to put on gloves I discover I forgot them in the bedroom. I stand up to go back and get them. Lu Rian frowns and says, never mind. Just keep your hands in your pockets. Lu Rian reaches out to little Jing and says, come on. I want to speak. But little Jing has already taken Lu Rian's hand, turns back and smiles at me. It's okay, Dad. I'm already very warm. Looking at Lu Rian leading little Jing by the hand, I suddenly feel a little dazed. 5 years of marriage. Most of the time I spent with little Jing. Lu Rian either went out partying with friends, or traveled everywhere. And now, Lu Rian is voluntarily taking on the responsibility of a mother, choosing to take little Jing to school. I clearly know this is thanks to Yitingqing's influence. Yet I still cannot help feeling happy. Because of Lu Rian's willingness to integrate, I prepare a whole table of food according to Lu Rian's taste. Silently waiting for the two to come home. I wait until an hour past school dismissal. And outside the window, still no sign of little Jing and Lu Rian. Only then do I realize something is wrong. I hurriedly throw on a coat and rush out to the kindergarten, never expecting on the way to run into Lu Rian and Yitingqing being intimate. I instinctively hide, watch Yitingqing with his arm around Lu Rian's waist. Walking into a deserted parking lot, Lu Rian smiles ambiguously, takes the initiative to lean in, leaving a kiss on Yitingqing's cheek. Yitingqing asks so rushed, not afraid Jibadot will catch you. He smiles and kisses her deeper. Lu Rian shrugs, ambiguously says he has always wanted me to spend more time with little Jing. Probably right now he has finished cooking, waiting at home for us to return. Clearly dozens of meters away. Their voice is not loud, yet I hear every single word clearly. My breathing stops. I stare wide-eyed as Lu Rian gets into Yitingqing's car. Watch them embracing and kissing inside the car, almost as if trying to make up for all the kisses missing over 5 years. The car windows gradually fog up with steam. Slowly I can no longer see clearly inside the car, only able to see the car body rocking non-stop. My body has long frozen from the cold. My eyes, still staring fixedly at that black car. I don't understand why after 5 years of my efforts, I still couldn't warm that person's heart. Yet someone else only needs to beckon, and she can't wait to climb aboard. I remember our first wedding anniversary. 2 months earlier I specially went to learn baking from a pastry chef, whipped the cream, piped the flowers. The finished product was even praised by the chef as excellent, but when I presented it, I only saw mockery in Lu Rian's eyes. She said, Jibadot, what were you expecting? Did you really think a cheap cake, bought from who knows where, could move my heart? Compared to our wedding anniversary, what you should remember better is the day you stole my freedom. I wanted to say no, it wasn't. It was Yitingqing who first disappeared without a word. It was Yitingqing who first abandoned you. But seeing the disgust and hatred in Lu Rian's eyes, my throat tightened again. I couldn't say anything. In the end the cake still sealed was thrown into the trash. I only felt a huge hole carved out of my chest, cold wind rushing in. When I run to the kindergarten, little Jing is hanging her head low, her face full of unconcealed disappointment. I pick up little Jing, use my hand to wipe away the dried tear streaks on her face. Little Jing buries her head in my arms. Mumbles, why didn't mommy come pick me up? Why doesn't mommy like me? I forcefully suppressed the surging bitterness in my heart to comfort her. Lu Rian had sudden work and couldn't come. Little Jing sensibly nods. Lu Rian doesn't return until evening. Looks contemptuously at me checking little Jing's art homework. She originally thought I wouldn't pick up the child and would explode in anger. Never expected I wouldn't say a word. This instead makes Lu Rian a little surprised. After all, when it comes to little Jing, I always become especially stubborn. Lu Rian glances once then looks away. She doesn't want to tangle with me. She remembers the wild events in the car during the day. Remembers Yi Tangcheng's question with a light laugh. Her originally calm heart ripples once more. She wants to take a shower, to wash away the sticky feeling and feel refreshed. Turns on the faucet, but is doused by ice-cold water. Lu Rian frowns. Hair completely soaked. Questions me why I didn't prepare hot water. Don't you know I shower every night? I don't look up, silently staring. Flipping through the drawing book, 5 years of marriage. I remember all of Lu Rian's preferences, wholeheartedly trying to please her. If she says east, I absolutely won't go west. Even if she told me in the middle of a stormy night to run across 3 streets to buy something, I would never hesitate. When has Lu Rian ever been treated coldly by me like this? A nameless fire instantly flares in her heart. She steps forward twice, grabs my hand. Jibadot. If you keep ignoring me like this, be careful, tomorrow I immediately go register for divorce with you. Lu Rian threatens me. She thinks I don't want to divorce her, thinks I desperately want to maintain this marriage. Sure enough, I look up. Only in my eyes is not the panic Lu Rian expected, but a deathly stillness like stagnant water. I ask her, you clearly promised little Jing. Why didn't you go pick her up? When I arrived, the kindergarten only had her left. Do you know how pitiful she was? Lu Rian suddenly freezes. At that time she was with Yi Tangcheng. She did mention she would pick up little Jing, but Yi Tangcheng only held her tighter. Yi Tangcheng said, that's Ji Badot's daughter. I know you don't like her. Wait until we have our own child. It won't be too late to be a good mother then. Seeing my angry expression, Lu Rian instinctively defends herself. She says I was busy and forgot. Besides, you already picked her up. It's not a big deal. Do you have to be so fierce with me? Lu Rian will never know. The acting she thinks is exquisite falls in my eyes. How ridiculous it is. I silently look at her. Without a word, push the drawing book on the table, in front of her. Lu Rian's gaze falls on the drawing in an instant, only feeling her heart stabbed painfully. The theme of the drawing is a family of 3. In the picture, little Jing with mom and dad at an amusement park. Little Jing won a stuffed animal in a contest. Mom clapping, cheering as dad lifts her up full of pride and arrogance. A harmonious and happy family. Lu Rian says nothing more. The room falls deathly silent. After a very long time, Lu Rian finally speaks. She says tomorrow I will take her to the amusement park, to make up for today. Little Jing has always wanted to go to the amusement park. This Lu Rian knows clearly. She just never cared, always putting it off again and again. Lu Rian tries hard to ignore the discomfort in her heart. I look at her coldly and say, don't forget again. These last few days I only want a beautiful parting. I do not expose her final paper-thin mask. Only hoping Lu Rian can, in little Jing's childhood, play well the role of a mother. Little Jing wakes up, stunned by the sudden good news. The little girl excitedly tugs my collar, asking, is it true? Dad has no choice but to be pulled by her. Smiling, pinch her cheek. Point to Lu Rian, saying mommy has already changed clothes. Lu Rian does not correct my way of addressing her to the child. Instead smiles at little Jing. Little Jing sensitively notices the change. Tentatively calls mommy. Lu Rian raises her hand. Little Jing reflexively shrinks her neck, but Lu Rian only pats her head. Little Jing becomes overjoyed. The whole way the little girl holds tightly to Lu Rian's hand. Even though her small hands turn red from the cold, she won't let go. Sometimes pointing at snowmen by the road. Sometimes pointing at sleeping puppies. Chattering nonstop. Lu Rian responds sentence by sentence. The whole day down, Lu Rian almost leads little Jing, playing every single ride, including the games. The carousel that little Jing drew in her book. What Lu Rian never expected. The small stuffed bear little Jing worked hard to win, was without hesitation given to her. The little girl says mommy, giving it to mommy. Thank you mommy for playing with little Jing. Looking at little Jing's sparkling eyes, Lu Rian feels an indescribable feeling in her heart. The Ferris wheel is the final stop for the 3. Little Jing curiously admires the night view outside the window. Lu Rian and I sit facing each other. After a day of interaction, the atmosphere between us has eased quite a bit. Lu Rian wants to say something. The next second her phone jumps with 2 messages. She lowers her head and sees the contact as Yi Tangcheng. The message Yi Tangcheng wrote seems, I saw you at the amusement park we used to visit together. Little Jing points at the colorful buildings, excitedly describing the scenery before her eyes. Lu Rian no longer responds, as if she hears nothing. I do not miss the flash of joy on Lu Rian's face. Through the reflection in the glass, I clearly see the two characters eating. I remember someone once said, when the Ferris wheel reaches the highest point, make a wish, then the wish will be heard by the gods above, and will come true. If you make a wish with your loved one to be together forever, then you will spend the rest of your life happy and joyful. As a teenager, I deeply believed that. I tried every means to invite Lu Ruyan to ride the Ferris wheel together, but was always refused by Lu Ruyan with various excuses. She left. I firmly believed one day I would move Lu Ruyan, so I had already bought a ring long ago, practiced alone on the Ferris wheel, imagining the scene of a successful confession. Now finally I get my wish to ride the Ferris wheel with her. Liaoli, but the hand I clench the ring in my pocket. In my heart there is no longer tension and joy. Lu Ruyan keeps typing. The smile on her face stings my eyes painfully. I take a deep breath, slip the ring into the seat crack. At this moment the Ferris wheel just reaches the highest point. I make a wish if there is a next life. I absolutely do not want to meet her again. I am not at all surprised by Yi Tengcheng's appearance. From the suddenly bright expression of Lu Ruyan it was already obvious. Yi Tengcheng familiarly pats my shoulder, says Brother Ji, seeing Ruyan taken care of so well by you, I feel relieved. I do not miss the faint contempt for little Jing hidden in his words. Instinctively a bit wary of the Yi Tengcheng in front of me, Yi Tengcheng squats down, looks at the little girl and says, little Jing, just a few days no see and you've forgotten uncle already. On New Year's Eve uncle even carried you. Little Jing says nothing. Seeing the atmosphere between everyone somewhat tense, Lu Ruyan steps in to smooth things over, saying, Yi Tengcheng finally returned after so much difficulty. We haven't gathered and talked in years. How about we all have dinner together? Lu Ruyan, who was originally standing on little Jing and my side, while speaking, moves to Yi Tengcheng's side. The two standing together. I suddenly feel I am the outsider. I say no need tonight, I still have things to do. I instinctively want to refuse. Yi Tengcheng steps closer. Voice not loud but enough for everyone present to hear clearly. He says Brother Ji won't resent me, right? Even having one meal won't give face. I still want to refuse, but seeing Lu Ruyan's darkened face saying Ji Badot, rarely don't ruin the mood. The words at my mouth I swallow back. I nod. Lu Ruyan has already walked far ahead with Yi Tengcheng. Lu Ruyan says I know a restaurant. The taste is extremely good. The first time I went I thought you would like it. Yi Tengcheng says, I won't go to a restaurant you've been to with someone else. Lu Ruyan laughs. Lightly punches Yi Tengcheng's shoulder. She says that day I went alone. No one else. Yi Tengcheng asks, really or fake? If you lie to me you're a puppy. Yi Tengcheng easily flicks Lu Ruyan's nose. I clearly see Lu Ruyan blush. She avoids Yi Tengcheng's burning gaze. Lu Ruyan says, annoying. Am not a child. I stand in place. My feet as if weighed down by 1,000 pounds. Unable to move even half a step no matter what. Breathing becomes rapid. I watch the backs of the two gradually disappear. Watch until my eyes sting, then I arrive. Lu Ruyan and Yi Tengcheng have already ordered. Yi Tengcheng waves his hand. I sit next to sister-in-law, you don't mind, right? Really no more seats. Yi Tengcheng looks embarrassed. I look at the two empty seats opposite without speaking. The waiter brings foie gras stewed in red wine. Yi Tengcheng's eyes widen, saying, Ruyan, never expected after 5 years apart. You still remember I like this dish. Lu Ruyan raises her brow, saying, of course. The rest of the dishes are all ones you like. The tastes also suit you. Yi Tengcheng spears a piece of foie gras. Stuffs a big mouthful. He says delicious. Yi Tengcheng makes a blissful expression. I lower my eyes, spear a piece and feed little Jing. Seeing I have no reaction, Yi Tengcheng's eyes flicker. Opens his mouth, asking Ruyan, all ordered things I like, then what about him? Lu Ruyan's hand holding the napkin pauses. She says he isn't picky, anything is fine. You don't need to worry about him. I pass a glass of water to little Jing, where Lu Ruyan cannot see. I dig my nails deeply into my palm. It's not that I'm not picky, but Lu Ruyan never cared about me. It has always been me trying to please her, and Lu Ruyan has never asked about my preferences. Personal hobbies or otherwise, food or clothing the same. My preferences have nothing to do with her. She completely doesn't care. In Lu Ruyan's heart, I am only a temporary substitute, when there were no other choices. A tool to fulfill grandfather's dying wish. Nothing more. Nothing more. I try hard to calm my emotions, but still cannot suppress the surging negative feelings. Little Jing takes in the whole scene, her eyes full of worry, calling Dad. I force a smile, asking, want another bite? Dad will feed you. Little Jing knows. I don't want to lose face in front of outsiders, so gently nods. At the other end of the table, Lu Ruyan sees crumbs stuck at the corner of Yi Tengcheng's mouth, carefully wipes them away with a napkin. She says, how are you still so hasty like before? Yi Tengcheng grins, laughs, saying, just like before. Nothing has changed. This feeling is really great. Inside and outside the picture everyone is mocking me for destroying their lives. Yi Tengcheng's gaze falls on me, seeing my expression gradually distort as he speaks, then satisfied curves his mouth, says if that year there had been no incident, our child would probably be as old as little Jing by now, right? I can endure Yi Tengcheng provoking me. but absolutely cannot accept him having malice toward little Jing. I can no longer endure the disappointment and anger in my heart. I roar, don't drag her into this. Yitingqing pretends to be shocked. First glances at Lu Rian. Then innocently raises his head saying, brother, did I say something wrong? That year, if you hadn't spoken ill in front of grandfather, how would Rian and I have been forced apart? I know you like Rian, but so many years have passed. You should return her to me now, right? Yitingqing lowers his eyes, face full of disappointment. Lu Rian sees clearly, cannot help feeling heartbroken. She tightly grasps Yitingqing's hand, not even glancing at me. The sour feeling crawls up my heart. I finally realize, my 5 years of effort, in Lu Rian's eyes not worth a penny. I take a deep breath, decide to leave this suffocating place. Little Jing sensibly follows beside me. Lu Rian does not speak to stop us. On the way home, little Jing holds my hand, her voice very small, but very firm. She says tomorrow is already little Jing's birthday. Little Jing still remembers the original promise. If auntie stays with me, then we will stay. If auntie doesn't care, then we will leave. The childish words ring in my ears. I answer okay. Lu Rian does not return all night, and my phone keeps vibrating non-stop all night. Why do you keep clinging to Rian? Clearly if you just obediently leave, it wouldn't be so troublesome. Yitingqing sends a photo. Lu Rian's underwear. He says guess no prize. Guess what we're doing? From 10 at night to 3 in the morning. Yitingqing sends one every half hour. Determined to tear apart my dignity, brother. Have you ever tasted Rian's flavor? Brother, Rian called me husband. Have you seen the messages? Message after message, like countless steel needles stabbing hard into my heart. I angrily punch the wall hard. My hand immediately bleeds, yet the pain in my heart doesn't lessen even a bit. Overwhelming disappointment and sorrow envelop me tightly, making it hard to breathe. Closing my eyes is Lu Rian's coldness and mockery toward me. Opening my eyes is Yitingqing's provocation and threats. I am like being in a vortex of pain, forced to endure all injustice. Clearly it wasn't like this. The life I wanted clearly wasn't like this. How did it become this way? Why, when I look at the bedside table, placed the wedding photo of us, I am beaming. Lu Rian full of impatience. From the beginning it was wrong. I shouldn't have loved Lu Rian. There is a saying I only now understand. Being close to you is being close to pain. Being far from you is being far from happiness. Lu Rian and I are exactly like that. Forever unable to find true happiness. I stay up all night. Until the next morning. Little Jing hugs her stuffed animal and comes to my side. We sit on the sofa, silently waiting for time to pass. When the hour hand points to 10, little Jing cannot help asking, will auntie come back? My eyes full of red blood vessels. I smile bitterly at little Jing, I don't know. When the hour hand points to 12, little Jing jumps off the sofa, takes milk and bread from the fridge, eats simply, then sits back on the sofa to continue waiting. When the hour hand points to 2, little Jing sees my wound, takes out a band-aid from the first aid kit and sticks it on my hand. I hold little Jing, for a long time say nothing. When the hour hand reaches 5, my phone rings. It is Lu Rian calling. Little Jing's eyes light up, excitedly leans close, wanting to hear mommy wish her happy birthday. Little Jing calls mommy. Auntie Lu Rian pauses. Voice slightly impatient says, why yell so loud? I can hear. She says again, Jibadot. I hear Lu Rian call my name. I am too familiar with this opening. She says tonight I won't come back. My best friend invited me out, got it, I nod. I stiffly turn my head to look at little Jing. The smile always hanging on little Jing's face finally disappears. My throat bitter and dry. Unable to say anything. Still little Jing speaks first. She says, I know mommy. This time Lu Rian does not correct the address. She hums once, hurriedly hangs up. Little Jing puts down the stuffed animal, goes into the bedroom to find clothes. I feel little Jing's sadness. Hug her tightly. I say, it's okay. Dad is still here. Dad is by your side, it's okay, little Jing. Dad loves you. Little Jing buries her head in my arms. I cannot see her expression. She says Dad, her voice choked. I feel my shoulder grow cold. Those are little Jing's tears. She says, let's go. Leave now. I once wanted little Jing to have both parents by her side, a healthy childhood. But what Lu Rian gave little Jing was only countless coldnesses and neglects. She says, go far away. Never come back. I book plane tickets that very night. Begin packing luggage. Little Jing looks at the stuffed animal fallen on the floor, finally chooses to let go. Lu Rian is not her mommy. The stuffed animal she gave is not a precious gift either. I pack very quickly. I place the divorce agreement at Lu Rian's bedside, making sure she sees it the moment she looks. Little Jing stands at the door asking, Dad, are you done? The child who once loved this home the most now urges me to take her away. I take her hand. Step out, Dad. Where are we going? I say River City. She asks, is it far from here? I answer, very far. Auntie Lu won't find us, right? It would be good if she can't. The moment we board the plane, I send Lu Rian a message. The freedom you want, I return it to you. After Lu Rian hangs up, always feels something is wrong. She unconsciously frowns. Thinks back on the conversation just now. Yi Tingqing lifts her face with his hand. Intimately kisses her saying baby. Right now I feel so happy. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Both the day you divorce and my birthday. We have to celebrate big, okay? Yi Tingqing rubs his chin against Lu Rian's forehead. The action that once made Lu Rian feel comfortable now makes her slightly uncomfortable. She subtly turns her head, pulling apart the distance between them. She finally knows the source of this unease. Yesterday at the amusement park, little Jing once mentioned, "Mommy, tomorrow is my birthday. Can you stay with me?" At that time Lu Rian, mindful of Yi Tingqing's messages, casually nodded. She did not see the joy in little Jing's eyes. Also missed the probing in Ji Badot's eyes. She suddenly realizes Ji Badot, when receiving the call, was silent. Those 5 seconds of silence were complete disappointment in her. Lu Rian's heart is suddenly seized by panic for no reason. Yi Tingqing picks up the carefully placed stuffed animal at the head of the bed. The little bear suddenly looks dejected as he plays with it. "What's wrong? Not even letting me touch it now." He yanks the bear's arm, not knowing if his strength was too great or the bear's quality too poor. The stuffed animal's arm is torn off. A large clump of stuffing spills out. Lu Rian watches the scene, suddenly remembers little Jing. When she gave this stuffed animal as a gift to her, the little girl's face sparkled like stars. The word mommy still echoes in her ears. Has not yet faded. Her chest suddenly stabs with pain. She snatches the stuffed bear back. The silly bear stares at Lu Rian. All of a sudden, she remembers last night when the Ferris wheel reached its highest point. Little Jing's face was full of excitement and I wore a smile. She remembers she had something she wanted to say to me. What was it again? She remembers now. She wanted to say, "The legend says when the Ferris wheel reaches the top, the wish you make will be heard by the gods in heaven." Ji Badot, what is your wish? Lu Rian had originally planned to ask that. Ji Badot had mentioned more than once that he wanted to ride the Ferris wheel with her. She knew. In his heart there was a wish he desperately wanted to fulfill. Yi Tingqing. The sudden message cuts off her train of thought. Her attention is pulled away by Yi Tingqing. The remaining thoughts are thrown to the back of her mind. Lu Rian feels her chest tight and hard to breathe. She takes a deep breath, wanting to calm her emotions. Yi Tingqing tilts his head, malice hard to hide in his eyes. Yet when he speaks his voice is full of grievance. He says, "Rian, you won't regret staying with me, right?" Yi Tingqing shakes the phone, regretfully says, "But after what happened last night, you can never go back to them anymore." Lu Rian's face turns deathly pale, remembering the absurdity of last night. Her body sways. She looks at Yi Tingqing's gentle voice, his face full of mockery. An enormous unease engulfs Lu Rian's heart. She asks, "What did you say?" Lu Rian lunges forward to grab Yi Tingqing's phone. Yi Tingqing leans away and dodges. She misses. Yi Tingqing raises a brow and looks at her pale face, helplessly shakes his head, hands her the phone, says the password is your birthday. Yi Tingqing winks. Lu Rian's hand trembles slightly. She has to press several times before finally entering the chat with Ji Badot. The moment she clearly sees the filthy photos and the provocative words. Yi Tingqing's laughter echoes throughout the room. The taut nerve in her head snaps. Her ears ring in waves. She stares blankly at Yi Tingqing. Yi Tingqing smiles and looks. Says, "You should have known this day would come. Right? Since you chose to entangle with me while married. This happening is only natural. Moreover, tomorrow you two are divorcing anyway. That annoying Ji Badot and his annoying daughter will disappear from your life." Yi Tingqing reaches out to stroke her hair, gently wipes the tears at the corner of her eyes, leans close to her ear, like the devil's whisper, making the already chaotic Lu Rian shiver with cold. He says, "You should actually feel happy." Rian, a crisp slap rings out. Yi Tingqing's laughter finally stops. He covers his face and looks at Lu Rian in slight surprise. Lu Rian is shaking with anger. She says, "Who allowed you to send those to him? Who allowed you to send those to him?" Yi Tingqing grins widely. Says, "Rian, what are you pretending for? Have you forgotten how you screamed last night?" He is clearly smiling. Yet Lu Rian feels as if she has fallen into an ice cellar. Even breathing becomes difficult. It wasn't like this. It shouldn't be like this. Lu Rian steps back several paces, putting distance between her and Yi Tingqing. She was wrong. 5 years of obsession. She kept painting Yi Tingqing's image layer by layer, until the Yi Tingqing in her memory was flawless and perfect. Until this very moment. Until this very moment. Yi Tingqing's darkness and pettiness are fully exposed without concealment. Only now does she suddenly realize the person she has always loved so deeply was nothing but an empty illusion. At this exact moment she remembers Ji Badot. She remembers last night. She and Yi Tingqing leaning on each other. Ji Badot lowering his eyes, trying to stay calm while leading little Jing away. Actually she had seen it. Seen the sorrow and endurance in Ji Badot. Also seen the anger deep in Ji Badot's eyes. But she chose to pretend she didn't see. She firmly believed the one she loved was Yi Tingqing. Not the man who had stayed by her side for 5 years. So once again she ignored his pain and despair. Lu Rian hurriedly puts on clothes. She wants to contact Jibadot, but doesn't know when her phone was turned off. From behind comes Yi Tangcheng's laughter. He says, "So Jibadot wouldn't disturb our good time. I specially turned it off for you. Rian, why don't you praise me?" Boundless regret crawls into her heart. The defenses in Lu Rian's heart completely collapse. She screams, "Enough, stop talking. I will not divorce Jibadot. Even less will I marry you. From today on you, Yi Tangcheng and I cut clean. Never see each other again." Yi Tangcheng looks at her, as if hearing the funniest joke, bends over clutching his stomach laughing loudly. He says, "Rian, 5 years have passed. How are you still so naive?" He laughs while wiping tears from his eyes. He says, "I never cared about your love." Yi Tangcheng's voice suddenly drops. He says, "From beginning to end, all I wanted was to destroy your marriage." He unhurriedly dresses, calmly recounting his scheme. He says, "Grandfather was unreasonable. You and I would have been fine. Who would have thought the person who kept saying she loved me couldn't even keep her own belly? Married 5 years. The child is already 4. Who knows if everything you told me was true?" With every sentence, Lu Rian's face grows paler. Her whole body stiffens. Unable to move, Yi Tangcheng shrugs and smiles. Says, "As the third party in love, giving you a small punishment is only natural. Only pity for Jibadot." Yi Tangcheng looks at the ceiling, takes a deep breath and says, "No matter who he loves, he would live very well. Yet it had to be you." Yi Tangcheng reveals a malicious smile. He says, "Fate always loves to toy with people. You agree, right?" The moment the words leave his mouth, her phone finally turns back on. She clearly sees Jibadot's farewell message. "The freedom you want. I return it to you." 9 short characters, yet containing boundless despair, self-blame, helplessness, regret intertwining, tearing apart Lu Rian's rationality. Everything before her eyes blurs with tears. In her arms the broken little bear. In her ears triumphant mocking laughter. In Lu Rian's heart there is still one last sliver of luck. Perhaps Jibadot is only angry for the moment. Perhaps Jibadot just went out for a walk. He loves her so much. How could he bear to leave her? Lu Rian supports herself and stands. She pushes Yi Tangcheng away, stumbling as she runs outside. The freezing wind outside instantly swallows her. Lu Rian didn't even have time to put on a coat. Her body quickly loses feeling. Tears she can no longer hold back stream down. The wind cuts her cheeks like knives. Lu Rian desperately runs forward. She runs too hastily. Carelessly slips on the ice and falls heavily. Intense pain assaults her. Lu Rian digs her nails into her palms. She forces herself to stand, staggering onward. Blood stains her pants red. Lu Rian doesn't even glance at it. Her eyes, still fixed on that tightly closed door. Her hand tightly grips the doorknob. She hears her own heart pounding, the entire way running here. In her mind, she rehearsed countless apology scenes. But when she actually opens the door, Lu Rian only sees an empty living room with no one. Jibadot, Lu Rian tremblingly calls. Only silence answers her. Lu Rian limps into Jibadot's bedroom. What meets her eyes is a room half emptied. An enormous unease engulfs her heart. Her heart beats faster and faster. Faster and faster. She walks step by step to her own bedroom. When she sees the paper placed on the bedside, her breathing suddenly stops. Lu Rian steps forward, sees the 5 large characters divorce agreement. In that instant all strength leaves her. Lu Rian collapses to her knees, tears she held back for so long, falling drop by drop. She can no longer suppress the torment in her heart, wailing loudly, "Jibadot, you cannot abandon me. I know I was wrong. I know I was wrong." At the same time in another place, little Jing curiously looks around. I wave to the woman walking toward us. Yue. Yue is a friend I made when I first started my business. Clean and decisive in her work, very ambitious in her career. Everyone calls her Sister Yu. Yue flashes a bright smile. She casually takes my luggage, ruffles little Jing's hair. She says, "First rest a few days, then we'll plan what comes next." I nod. After I married Lu Rian, Yue moved to River City for various reasons. During that time I contacted Yue a few times, each time only chatting a few sentences before hanging up. I thought our relationship had faded with time. Never expected. When I asked to stay a few days, Yue agreed without hesitation. Actually I was a little surprised, but seeing how well little Jing and Yue get along, I still couldn't help breathing a sigh of relief. It has been a very long time since I last saw little Jing laugh so freely and loudly. After a while I think of Lu Rian, wondering what her reaction will be when she sees the divorce agreement. Will she hurriedly marry Yi Tangcheng? Or curse me for being unreasonable? Anyway, she will definitely feel she has finally escaped a huge trouble. Yue calls Jibadot. Little Jing calls Dad. The two walking ahead turn to look at me. Little Jing stands on tiptoe making a megaphone with her hands, shouting loudly. The morning sunlight falls on them, painting a beautiful picture in my eyes. I slowly jog forward, then run faster and faster. The wind whooshes past. I see the smile in Yui's eyes. See little Jing's rosy cheeks. In that moment, the heart that Lu Ruyan had wounded countless times begins beating again. At Yui's home, the table is filled with dishes. Yui pulls out a chair and says, I cooked according to the tastes we shared back then. Try it. I freeze, memories long sealed slowly awaken. I remember the last time I ate with Yui. Seems like 10 years ago. There were 7 or 8 other partners then. Never expected she still remembers my preferences so clearly. I immediately feel a little awkward. Little Jing is completely at ease and full of trust toward Yui. The little girl sits down without ceremony, devours the fried pastry in front of her. She says delicious. Little Jing's eyes light up. Repeats, stuffing her mouth. Says Aunt Yu is amazing. Yui carefully wipes the grease from the corner of little Jing's mouth. Seeing my worry, takes the initiative to break the silence. She says Jibadot. This time I'm helping you. Because of the years we worked together, you don't need to feel burdened. I have no intention of making things difficult for you. It's just after a long journey. You should eat something you like to recover. Yui's strategic retreat successfully makes me feel I overthought. I pick up a piece of meltingly tender braised beef. Taste it. Yui hands me a glass of water. I take it, our skin touches. Both of us remain expressionless, both thinking our disguise is perfect. Little Jing sitting beside us sees through both our thoughts. The little girl opens her mouth, her childish voice ringing through the room. She says, why are both your faces red? It's not even hot in here. Yui uses the excuse of needing the bathroom and leaves. I lower my head to eat. Only I know how fiercely the heart deep in my chest is pounding. The glass Yui handed me is the very one she and I made together at the pottery workshop long ago. I always knew Yui liked me. It's just that back then, my heart only wanted recognition from Lu Ruyan. I never considered starting a new life with someone else. After Yui's confession failed, she never gave up. She used her birthday as an excuse. Asked me to go with her to the pottery workshop to make handicrafts. I agreed. I only thought it was adults trying to save face. Never expected the cup I casually shaped that day would be treasured by Yui until now. I have gone far too long without feeling cared for. My days only revolved around Lu Ruyan. I had almost forgotten that I am a person who exists independently of Lu Ruyan. And now Yui uses her actions to remind, when you are immersed in happiness, I will quietly guard behind you. When you are entangled in pain, I will reach out and pull you from the mud. No matter what you choose, I will always be by your side. The time spent with Yui has given me rare days of peace. I handle the school transfer procedures for little Jing. Every day when little Jing comes home from kindergarten, she chatters nonstop. At this time Yui often widens her eyes dramatically, cooperates by saying, the teacher said you are the best behaved child. Little Jing proudly lifts her head saying, that's right. The teacher even made me the naptime monitor. Naptime monitor. Yui lovingly pinches the little girl's cheek saying, see, I told you our little Jing is the most capable. Being naptime monitor is such an important position. The teacher giving it to you shows how much she trusts you. Little Jing is praised until she forgets the world. Happily lies on the table doing homework. Yui and I look at each other from the kitchen and smile. We smile harder and harder until both of us clutch our stomachs and squat down, laughing until we can't straighten our backs, laughing until tears glisten in the corners of our eyes. Right at this moment, Yui stops laughing. She looks at me, her eyes sincere and brave. She takes a breath, looks at me with shining eyes. She says, Jibadot, can you give me one more chance? I look at her. My ears can no longer hear any other sound. In my eyes there is only Yui. Somehow, I am absolutely certain that a future with Yui will have no mockery or abandonment, only endless love, trust and companionship. I see my reflection in Yui's eyes. In my ears only the frantic beating of my heart and heavy breathing. I open my mouth, hear myself say yes. From then on, our feelings grow exponentially. Little Jing has never seen Dad like this before. Early in the morning before girlfriend also Aunt Yu leaves for work, he makes heart-shaped breakfast. Dad sits at the table staring at that sandwich, frozen for the whole morning, occasionally letting out 2 silly giggles, like he's gone mad. Little Jing frowns and puts her small hand on my forehead. Sees no fever. I look at little Jing, pull the little girl into a tight hug, rub my chin on the top of her head, whisper, little Jing, from now on let Aunt Yui always stay with you. Okay, little Jing doesn't understand Dad's strange behavior, but she understands this sentence. Afraid Dad will change his mind. Quickly answers yes after 1 second of silence. Looking at little Jing's eyes full of expectation, I whisper, so this is what happiness feels like. To celebrate little Jing being naptime monitor for 2 months, Yui specially books a children's restaurant. Little Jing, wearing the new clothes we bought, swings her legs, excitedly waiting for the food. It is at this exact moment that Lu Ruyan and I meet again. I am fixing little Jing's hair. From the corner of my eye through the glass, I lock eyes with a deathly pale Lu Ruyan. My body instantly freezes. All blood drains from my face. The past humiliations and grievances flood back. My whole body turns ice cold. Even breathing becomes rapid. No matter what, I never expected Lu Rian would find us here. In my mind, Lu Rian should be relieved that I left. Then immediately marry Eating Ching. Live sweetly ever after. As if little Jing and I never existed. But Lu Rian rushes toward me, her body already out of control the moment she saw me. I sit powerlessly in place, eyes wide, watching Lu Rian grab my wrist. As if afraid I will run away, she grips very tightly, her nails digging deep into my flesh. She says, Jibadot, I know I was wrong. Please don't be angry with me anymore, okay? Only now do I notice Lu Rian's bloodshot eyes. One look tells me she hasn't rested properly these past days. Says I have already broken up with Eating Ching. From now on, can we live well together? Lu Rian looks at me. The once proud woman now lowers herself before me, begging for my forgiveness. She says, let's pretend nothing ever happened. Okay, our family of 3 in Boston, you, me and little Jing. Let's live well together. I will try hard to learn to be a good mother. She looks at me saying nothing, tears rolling down. She says, Jibadot, you cannot abandon me. Yu Yui's timely appearance prevents the situation from worsening. She says, please let go. Her face cold. One by one she pries Lu Rian's fingers off, seeing the red and purple marks on my wrist. Yu Yui's brow slightly furrow. She pushes her hard. Lu Rian, caught off guard, falls. She sits on the ground looking at the woman before her. She never imagined another woman would appear beside me. From childhood to adulthood, I was like a fly buzzing around her. In my eyes there was only her. Lu Rian knew this clearly. She just didn't love me back then. Wasted all my years for nothing. Now she has awakened, running after me. She surely thought I would be overjoyed, tearfully welcome her back. But how could I? How could I be with another woman? Yu Yue stands protectively in front of me, holding my hand tightly. My scattered pupils finally regain focus. Instinctively I hold back. This trusting appearance is clearly seen by Lu Rian on the ground. Her gaze falls on little Jing hiding behind Yu Yue. Seeing that little Jing's eyes no longer hold longing for approval, but are filled with wariness. Only now does Lu Rian belatedly realize something has changed. The humiliation of being abandoned mixed with anger steals away Lu Rian's rationality. She stubbornly believes it must be this woman who seduced me with every trick that made me choose her. She says, he is my husband. You are a shameless mistress, utterly disgusting. She supports herself against the wall to stand, loudly cursing. She even points at little Jing, saying, the child I carried and gave birth to with such difficulty now calls a stranger mommy. How can you treat me like this? Lu Rian blames everyone, yet never once mentions little Jing's birthday, when she was rolling in bed with another man. I know. Lu Rian has always had her own principles. When I hear Lu Rian use every filthy word to curse Yu Yue, I slap her, sending her falling to the ground again. Enough, Rian. I take a breath. Word by word say we are already divorced. Lu Rian covers her face. Her pupils slightly contract. She looks at me, as if she doesn't understand my words. She asks, what did you say? How much I wanted to maintain this marriage. Lu Rian knows clearly, for 5 years, to make her change her mind. I did everything to please her, always living in fear of being abandoned. My caution only made Lu Rian more and more arrogant. She threw away the anniversary gifts I prepared, poured out the meals I carefully cooked, little by little crushed my dignity. Even so, I never once mentioned divorce. She was certain I could never leave her. Yet now everything before her tells Lu Rian I have escaped the past. My voice is cold yet calm. I say, Yu Yue is not the kind of woman you describe. Lu Rian, I hope you watch your words. I think you still remember we were only in a contract marriage. I look at her, expression serious. In my eyes a distance Lu Rian has never seen. I say the 5-year term ended long ago. Our marital relationship at that time also ended. In other words, now there is no relationship whatsoever between us. If possible, I hope you leave immediately. Stop disturbing me and little Jing. Lu Rian knows the words I speak are absolutely not a threat. Her face instantly turns deathly pale. The aggressive air from earlier vanishes without a trace. At this moment, she suddenly understands all those countless sleepless nights I spent living in anxiety, fear, and helplessness. She says, I know you love me. Everyone knows you love me. How could you leave me? Lu Rian's voice trembles. Tears instantly cover her face. She stumbles forward, wanting to grab me, only able to pitifully fall at my feet. The one once spoiled from childhood has become the lowly beggar for love. The one who once begged now looks down from above. Jibadot looks down at her, his eyes colder than ever. Lu Rian senses the next words from me will shatter her illusions. For one moment, Lu Rian wishes she were deaf, so she wouldn't have to face Jibadot's judgment, wouldn't have to worry about the humiliation when the last veil is torn away. But all pleading is useless. Jibadot speaks. Lu Rian can only listen. I say, Lu Rian. In your heart you know better than anyone. How we reached this point. This time. Lu Rian finally sees clearly the disappointment in my eyes. I say, I gave you my true heart. In return only trampling and mockery. I tried. Risked everything to win your love. I learned to be a good husband. Took care of the house and child. Even gave up my career. But what did you do? You made little Jing, who had just learned to say mommy kneel all day, you denied your identity as her mother. Only allowing the child to call you auntie. Saying this I can't help but smile bitterly. You hid east and west. Afraid others would know our relationship. You wouldn't let me call you wife in public. That time at the friends gathering I was drunk. Just softly called once. How angry you became. Just softly called once. She only returned it with a merciless slap. And on Yi Tangcheng's bed. She frantically called him husband. At dinner she tenderly wiped the corner of his mouth. Sending little Jing to school was only an excuse to sneak out and meet Yi Tangcheng. Also because of Yi Tangcheng. She missed little Jing's birthday. Lu Rian, sometimes I ask myself, why was I so stubbornly in love with her? My eyes red-rimmed, my voice trembling too. How else do you want me to love you? What more do you want me to do before you're satisfied? Lu Rian's face with every word I speak loses color bit by bit. She says, I will change. Give me one more chance, okay? I really know I was wrong. I take a deep breath, trying to steady my emotions. I look at Lu Rian and give her the same gentle smile as the first time we met, crushing her very last hope. I say it's too late. I turn and lead little Jing out. Lu Rian refuses to accept it and tries to pull me back. Yu Yue has long been standing ready beside us, pushing her hand away. From the moment Lu Rian started making a scene, Yu Yue had already called the police. The police arrived just in time. Lu Rian is restrained by the officers. She watches my retreating back grow farther and farther, struggles uselessly. She says, I will change. I really will change. I beg you, Jibadot. I beg you. Lu Rian's desperate cries echo throughout the restaurant. I don't even turn my head. Overwhelming regret and utter helplessness completely drown her. She collapses powerlessly to the floor, letting the police drag her away. The celebration party Yu Yue prepared for little Jing is ruined by Lu Rian. I feel a little guilty inside. Softly say, Yu Yue, I'm sorry. I never expected her to find this place and cause such a huge scene. I'm a little worried inside. After all, no one wants to be cursed at for no reason. I've already started thinking about leaving, even considering how to help little Jing adapt faster to a new environment. Yu Yue tilts her head slightly and looks at me. She says, Jibadot, you don't need to blame yourself for this. After just one encounter, I already felt the suffocating pain of being with Lu Rian. No one could have predicted today. How could I put all the blame on you? Yu Yue takes a deep breath. She says, compared to that, I'm more worried your emotions were triggered. Do you still remember what I once told you? That I will always stand by your side. Those weren't empty words. They were the truest thoughts in my heart. No matter what happens, no matter what you face, I will always choose to stand with you. Having said that, do you understand my heart? When I come back to my senses, I realize Yu Yue is already leaning very close. Our eyes meet. We each see our own reflection in the other's gaze. In that moment our heartbeats intertwine, so loud they deafen the ears. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but the air temperature seems to rise with our movements. I see Yu Yue's ears turn pink. I see her eyes glistening with tears. I see her eyelashes trembling lightly. A nearby mall is having its grand opening. Fireworks explode brilliantly in the sky, drowning out all surrounding noise. The next second my lips are already on hers, lip to lip. I see Yu Yue's eyes widen slightly. I bring my hand to the back of her neck, deepening our kiss. My kissing skills are terrible. Fortunately Yu Yue's aren't much better. Yu Yue's soft laughter escapes between our lips. Only then do I belatedly realize I was too forward. Embarrassed I start to pull away, but Yu Yue cups my face, her eyes full of smiles as she gently kisses my cheek. She says, Jibadot, I have waited for this day for so long. That night I make up an excuse that little Jing is grown up now, and arrange for her to sleep in the next room. Under the dim golden light, I reverently kiss every inch of Yu Yue's body. Yu Yue's eyes are dreamy, yet she keeps softly calling my name, Jibadot. I love you. And you love me, the same words repeated over and over. We keep confirming our love for each other. I hold Yu Yue tightly, almost wanting to melt her into my very bones. I lower my head to kiss her, my voice hoarse stuck in my throat. Yu Yue leaves faint red scratches on my back. In this moment our souls merge, leaving only boundless trust and deep love for each other. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for standing in front of me without hesitation. I once thought, love that never changes until death was only a story from ancient times. Not until she walked step by step into my heart did I realize how shallow I used to be. Some people are born to love you, without asking for anything in return, without needing reasons. Time after time pulling you from the mud, taking you to see the starry sky. Lu Rian is detained overnight for education. Someone patiently advises her. You and that man are already divorced. Legally. You two no longer have any relationship. Clinging to him like this is wrong. Everyone deserves a chance to start over. You can't keep holding on to the past forever. I roughly understand your family situation. Long-term separation. Very little communication with your child. And there was infidelity during the marriage. You two reaching divorce. You should reflect more on what you did wrong in this marriage. Lu Rian stares blankly at the ceiling. Her mind that had been clouded by anger finally clears. She looks at the past 5 years. With Jibadot like an outsider. Insults, mockery. Scolding, hatred. Lu Rian used every advantage of the one who held the upper hand in love to control and suppress Jibadot. Actually, there were times Jibadot couldn't bear it anymore. His eyes red. He asked her why she had to torment him. What had he done? Lu Rian couldn't even be bothered to look at him. Yawned and walked into the bedroom. She said, you can choose divorce. Then Jibadot, the reason we reached today. Isn't it all because of your selfishness? Every time this happened, Jibadot would immediately fall silent. He would obediently pick up the pieces of the vase she smashed. Even if his fingers were cut and bleeding, he wouldn't stop. His expression would return to calm. But pain overflowed from the depths of his eyes. For a very long time, Lu Rian took pleasure in his pain. As if only this way could she make up for the regret of not marrying Yitingqing. She deliberately showed intimacy with Yitingqing in front of Jibadot, only to provoke him, to make him give up that laughable idea of loving her. Not until she saw the mocking smile on Yitingqing's face. Not until she saw the cold, distant look in Jibadot's eyes did she realize how pathetic she was. Lu Rian can't help but blame herself. If only she had treated Jibadot a little better. If only she had been a little more patient. If only she had tried to accept him. Would the outcome have been different? Lu Rian remembers when they first got married. Jibadot faced her unpredictable moods. Tried every way to please her. He contacted her parents. Carefully noted down her favorite foods and tastes. When Lu Rian came home from work, she would see a table full of lavish dishes. Actually, with just one glance, she could see how much effort he put in. She also saw the blisters and blood on his hands. Yet in front of Jibadot's eyes full of expectation, she picked up a piece and put it in her mouth. It was clearly her absolute favorite taste. But she deliberately poured the whole plate into the trash just to crush his pride. She said, food this salty. How can anyone eat it? She frowned and scolded. Watched the light in Jibadot's eyes go out. Watched the smile on his face slowly disappear. Then she heard him say sorry. That day's unreasonable tyranny has now become a knife, carving a huge hole in Lu Rian's chest, pushing him away step by step, forcing him to leave step by step. It was all her fault. Lu Rian takes a deep breath, still trying to force the tears back. But she fails. The tears come faster and faster, more and more, until the dam finally breaks. My wedding with Yue is set for New Year's. On the wedding day, countless guests beneath the stage all sincerely wish the newlyweds well. Yue in an exquisite wedding dress, so radiant she stuns the entire venue. Even I fall silent before her beauty. She stands at the end of the red carpet, smiles sweetly and happily toward me. I walk toward her step by step, hearing my heartbeat thundering in my chest, so fast it feels like it will burst my eardrums. Yue reaches her hand out to me. I grasp it tightly. Cheers and blessings ring out endlessly. Petals fill the sky. Time seems to freeze in this moment. The MC congratulates the newlyweds. Little Jing in her ceremony dress carefully carries the ring tray. I look at little Jing, as if seeing the little girl who once fought over toys. Clearly just yesterday, I was still calling little Jing come to daddy. In the blink of an eye she has become a little lady. Little Jing hugs Yue tightly. Crisp and clear calls out mommy. This is the first time she confidently calls someone mommy in front of everyone, without being scolded, without being ignored. Yue bends down and lifts little Jing up, softly kisses her cheek, gently answers, mommy is here. Little Jing breaks into a brilliant smile. My phone vibrates once in my pocket. It's receive a bank transfer notification. Lu Rian, to atone for her past mistakes, voluntarily transfers the entire Lu family fortune to me. My gaze lingers on the name Lu Rian for only a second, then I put the phone back in my pocket. The person I once loved to the marrow of my bones. I have almost forgotten. That face has long become the past. I silently think my life has already moved forward. The MC beside us asks loudly, Mr. G, are you willing to take Miss Yue as your wife? In sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, are you willing to stay by her side for the rest of your life? Even though I've rehearsed it countless times in my heart, I'm still a little nervous. My palms full of sweat. When I open my mouth my voice still trembles. I say I do. Yue smiles and kisses my lips. Little Jing hugs my leg. Shouts, daddy and mommy have to be together forever. The happiness I chased for so many years, in this moment has finally become reality.